Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. The Express had some fun reporting on a man known as the living Nostradamus, who has made predictions about when King Charles might step down from the throne. He also suggested that Prince William may not be the next in line to be king. Athos Salome, who claims to have taken over from the famous French prophet Nostradamus, told the Daily Star, "From now on, the countdown begins. We will find out if Charles remains in power between 2024 and 2025. Charles must double the care with his health. Problems may arise in his urinary and sexual system, prostate, and genitals." However, in a surprise twist, it might not be Charles who amends. The Prince of Wales also has the number 2 in his life, the same frequency as his father Charles III, a super-connected, Kabbalistically sane, but with a difference of revolutionizing the monarchy when he assumes the royalty. If we play that out, next in line is young Prince George, who is too young to serve as monarch. He would need a regent, which would bet the next adult in line of succession, that is, Prince Harry. Despite the underlying sadness of both Charles and William being unable to serve, the notion of Harry, the king's regent, lends itself to all sorts of amusing notions. But it gets even more entertaining as we go down the list. Were Harry to decline, the candidates for regent would skip over Archie and Lilibet, currently 6th and 7th in line, and land on the Duke of York, Prince Andrew. One imagines public sentiment wouldn't stand for that, and now we're down to number 9, Beatrice. Commentator Eric Schiff said, "King Charles at 75 is as sharp and as able as any global leader and brings an element of grace, wit, and majesty consistent with his style that is light years away from being too old to reign. There is no way the king would abdicate. The only way I could see the king abdicating is if he felt he was meaningfully unable to fulfill his official duties and obligations to the crown." Princess Anne, 17th in line, always knew that Meghan would have a very short shelf life in the royal family, according to royal expert Neil Shaw. He claims, according to a very good source, Meghan Markle failed to warm to Princess Anne, and Princess Anne always knew that Meghan would have a very short shelf life in the world of the British monarchy. The senior royal takes no nonsense, much like her father, the late Duke of Edinburgh. Apparently, when Meghan Markle joined the royal family, she sought out Princess Anne, according to a very good source. Princess Anne gave very sage advice to the new royal. Princess Anne reiterated this mantra. She pointed out that it wasn't a working monarchy, it was a job. You turn up on time, you do your research, and you do the duty. It's all about the project at hand. She also pointed out whatever charities you were involved in, you needed to get involved and get immersed. Piers Morgan has suggested Diana was a master manipulator. Writing for The Sun, Morgan wrote about his encounter with Diana. She talked about her lovers promoting William to say he kept a photo of Will Carling's then-wife Julia on a dartboard and had never laughed so hysterically as when, after James Hewitt spilled the beans about their affair in a tawdry book, I hired a white horse which a Mirror reporter in full armour rode to Hewitt's home to charge him with treason for sleeping with the wife of a future king. Morgan also suggested Diana's use of the media to suit her own agenda is not accurately portrayed in The Crown. Morgan writes, "So although I loved her for many reasons, she was dazzlingly beautiful and fabulously charismatic, as actress Elizabeth Debicki captures so well with her brilliant depiction of her. Diana also had a very unpleasant and duplicitous streak that is never shown in The Crown." Palace Intrigue will be right back. Town and Country looked for how the Crown actors prepared for their roles. Claire Foy, who played the Queen in the early seasons, said, "When you're playing a real person, you never want to be ghoulish. I don't want to pick apart a person. I want to invent someone. So I would hate for her to watch it and think I over-dramatized anything." Olivia Williams, who plays Camilla, said, "One's duty to the audience is not necessarily to impersonate the person, but not to be so far from them that it's distracting. You want to recall the person, but in everything beyond that moment of recognition, my duty is to Peter Morgan and the script." Polly Bennett, a movement coach, and William Conacher, the show's supervising dialect coach, worked with the cast. Bennett said, "We have to unpack what being royal is. We use the adjective and we go, be a bit more royal, but you might take that completely different than how I take it. So my job is to try and unpick what it means. It's not only being royal in a generic sense, it's being people that already exist." For Imelda Staunton, "I felt like everyone her whole life was sitting on her shoulders. I think that's what people feel when they met her, that you're looking at history. The monarch is a thing, the royalty is a thing, and to remain as dignified as she was an extraordinary feat." As for how a royal sounds, Conacher said there's no one particular way to sound royal. They don't all do the same thing, but one of the things across the board is if you just try and speak without moving your mouth very much at all, not in a tense way, if you just don't let much distance between your lips, and you don't really do anything to express yourself with your mouth and you just keep still, it will affect the way you sound. Wales online reporter, Welsh folk singer and campaigner David Iwan has urged King Charles to give up his castles and hand them over to the people of Wales. The singer said he was astounded to find out that castles such as Caernarfon, Beaumaris, Conwy, Harlech and Flint were still owned by the Crown Estate despite being managed by a conservation agency. Caernarfon Castle was built in 1283 by King Edward I. For the last 700 years, the title of Prince of Wales has traditionally been taken by the eldest son of the reigning monarch. Ian said, "Personally, I want Wales to be a free democratic republic with an elected president, and a great first step would be for the Crown to return to the people of Wales its vast properties, including our rich coastal regions and the castles built by Edward to keep us in our place." And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on the app of your choice. And if you go to YouTube or youtube.com, hit that subscribe button for us. It really helps. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.